Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's makeup tutorial is going to be a little bit different from me anyway. If you watch my tutorials, you know I'm not really very experimental with my makeup. I tend to go for pretty neutral, natural colors, soft glam. That's what I usually prefer, especially on me. And I never really experiment with color. However, I do want to change things up a little bit and I want to try step out of my comfort zone and get better at doing more colorful makeup looks. And obviously I want to try vary things up for my tutorial, so it's not like, you know, more of the same kind of makeup looks basically. So I found some wearable, colorful makeup looks, two in particular, and I asked on my Instagram which one you guys would prefer to see first. So this one, I'll put it on the screen here, it was the winner out of the two. Obviously it's a very minimal amount of color on the eye, but it's perfect for me because it's just, you know, easing my way into the whole color thing. I follow so many amazing makeup artists on Instagram and I'm just blown away with the looks that they create. And I feel like it looks amazing on anyone else that I see, but when I see those looks on me, I just think they're so over the top. So I'm gonna try find a, you know, happy balance, and yeah, hopefully today turns out well. Fingers crossed. Anyway, okay, so this intro is way too long. Let's just get straight into the makeup tutorial. So first things first, I'm gonna prime, and I'm using the Huda Beauty Complexion Perfection Primer, and I'm gonna use about 1.5 pumps of this, and I always use my hands to apply it. And as a second primer, I'm also going to use the Huda Beauty Matte Perfection, and I'm going to concentrate this in just the center of my face. So I actually saw on one of Huda Beauty's YouTube tutorials that she mixes the two, and I started to do it. This is just for the center to stop my kind of T-zone area getting oily or the makeup lifting in these areas throughout the day. And a lot of the products I'm using today are Huda Beauty. Not intentionally really, I just kind of started to pick out products for this makeup look, and a lot of them were her products because all of her stuff is so good. If you've never tried any of her products, I highly recommend all of them. They are all so good. The quality is just unbelievable. So for my foundation, I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Faux Filter High Coverage Cream Foundation, and I'm using the shade 320G. This probably up there with one of my top foundations. It's so good and it is thicker. I know not a lot of people like thick foundations. I love them. I love full coverage. It is full coverage. This is kind of my go-to, or one of my go-to foundations for night outs or like events, because I don't have to worry about it. It does not budge. Like, you could wake up the next morning, I don't recommend it, but you could wake up the next morning and this will still be on your face. So I'm going to take 1.5 pumps of that, which is actually quite a lot, and I go back in with another half. So for my concealer, it's also from Huda Beauty and it's the Overachiever concealer. This one is in the shade 10N. I'm still kind of trying to find my perfect shade. This one is quite light, but the one up is quite dark. So we're gonna go with this one. Probably the most full coverage concealer I've ever used in my life. This is actually incredible, like, can't explain it. I've never used a concealer that gets rid of dark circles as good as this one. Like, it is crazy. And I've only started to kind of use this one, so I haven't mastered the amount that I need yet, and I always over apply. So it also has like a metal applicator here, which is really cooling on the eyes. So in the morning, if you use this, the kind of cold applicator is going to help reduce puffiness in that area, which is really clever. Oh god, I'm applying so much shit. So to blend all of that in, I'm just going to use a damp beauty blender as always. And I actually had to go down to stop Hank from barking. So I feel like this is right in, and this might be an absolute task. Can you just see the coverage though? Like, that is insane. Okay, next up, to set my face, I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. I'm actually going to use 2 shades just because I have the 2, but you don't need to use 2 of them, you can just use 1. So the first shade I'm going to use is the shade Banana Bread, and I use this shade to set my concealer areas. Because this is slightly lighter, I apply this, like I said, in the areas that I apply the concealer, and it keeps those areas nice and light and bright. My laugh lines, my chin, around here, center of my forehead, down center of my nose. Might actually zoom you in so you can see a little bit better. So to set the rest of my face, I'm going to use the same Huda Beauty powder, but this one is in the shade Kunafa. So this one is slightly more of a tan kind of color. So I take a bit of this on a large fluffy brush, and just dust it across the kind of 8 perimeters of my face. And as I'm applying this, I usually tend to brush away any of the bake from the center of my face. Next, we're going to move on to bronzer, and Huda Beauty does not have bronzer, so I'm going to use the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat Powder Foundation. And this one is in the shade Deep Golden. I did pick this up when I was in New York, so I'm not sure if you can get it in Ireland and the UK, but you can definitely get it in the US. And I'm using a Zoeva 126 Luxe Cheek. Fuck, I just cleaned this, I did that every time. Luxe Cheek Finish brush. Okay, so to clean up my bronzer and kind of add more of like sharpness and contour to my face, I'm gonna go back into the banana bread powder with my beauty blender again. So picking up the powder on the back of the beauty blender, and from the corner of my mouth towards the top of my ear, I kind of draw like a bit of a line. And so that just kind of cleans up my bronzer and adds more contour to the face. I don't add too much because I don't want it to be too intense. And then I always go in after with my powder brush that I use for my face, just to kind of blend it so there's not like a proper harsh line there either. I don't have a blush near me, so I'm too lazy to get up, and we're gonna move straight on to highlighter. So for my highlighter, I'm gonna use the Huda Beauty Winter Highlight Palette, and I'm gonna pick this shade here. I might bring in a bit of the pink shade towards my cheek area to add a bit of color, but mostly this shade here, Northern Lights. Next, we're going to move on to eyebrows, and I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Powder Duo, and this one is in the shade Medium Brown, and I'm using the Anastasia, I think it's the number 12 eyebrow brush. So I'm just going to brush through my brows first. I haven't gotten these done in months, so this is an absolute mission to try get them to look decent. But I use the darker shadow from that duo, and I start from the center and go towards the ends of my brows first, and then at the end I do the beginning of my brow. Okay, so now that the brows are filled in, I'm going to use the Benefit Ready Set Brow Clear Brow Gel just to kind of brush them up and set them in place as well. And then after this dries, I'll probably go in with a brow pencil just to kind of fill in any stubborn gaps or like areas that need a bit more definition. Okay, we're moving on to the eyes. So for the eyes, I'm going to use 2 different Huda Beauty palettes, Shock and Horror. So the first one I'm going to use is the Smokey Obsessions palette, and the second one I'm going to use is the Electric Obsessions palette. Blech. Electric Obsessions palette, and basically I'm just using it for the yellow in the center. So using the Smokey Obsessions palette first, I'm going to pick up this shade here with a large fluffy brush. This one is similar to the MAC 224, but it's from Calenberry. And I'm using this first in the crease. I might zoom you in again, a little closer, so you can see all my mistakes. Okay, so I actually want that to be a little bit darker. I'm gonna go into the NYX powder foundation that I used earlier with the same brush and use that in my crease. And all over the lid as well. And then the same on the opposite eye as well, obviously. I feel like my camera is really bright. Okay, I'm gonna turn down the exposure a little bit because I feel like this is very bright and you can't really see, I think. I never know. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. Then I'm gonna use an AYU flat eyeshadow brush with the same 2 shades mixed together and use this to apply those colors underneath my eye. Okay, next, using the same Smokey Obsessions palette, I'm gonna pick up this shade here and start to put this one in the crease and the outer V of my eye. Okay, so I'm actually switching the brush and I'm gonna use a MAC 217 brush because the one I was using there was not great, so. Okay, this is way too dark now. I'm gonna brighten it again. Yeah, okay, that's definitely better. So next, using the same MAC 217 brush, I'm gonna use this shade here, which is the darkest brown, and then basically do the same thing. So just in the outer V and about halfway through my crease, I'm gonna apply this color. Okay, so I went back in with this brush here and applied more of that kind of neutral color to my lids. So moving on to underneath my eye, I'm gonna pick up a really tiny brush like this and then use that middle brown shade here and apply this as close to my lower waterline as possible. Next, we're gonna move on to the yellow color. So I'm taking a Zoeva 240 Luxe Petite pencil brush and picking up the shade here from the Huda Beauty Electric Obsessions palette. And I'm gonna start applying this right in to my inner tear duct area. And then going back into the Huda Beauty highlighter palette and picking up the Northern Lights color again with the same brush. I'm gonna apply this on top of that as well. Next, I'm gonna take a black gel liner and I'm using this one here from Anastasia. And the brush I'm gonna use is the Sigma Small Angle E65 brush. And I'm just gonna apply this on my top lash line. Then going back into the Smokey Obsessions palette, I'm going to take the black shade here with a Zoeva 322 brush and then smudge out that liner. Next step is to curl the lashes. And I'm gonna apply some mascara. The mascara I'm gonna use is the Lancôme Monsieur Big. And I'm gonna apply a lot of this. So while my mascara is drying, I'm gonna use the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade Soft Brown and just add a little bit of this into the areas that need it to add a bit more like definition to the brows. Next, I'm gonna apply some black eyeliner to the upper waterline of my eye. You can use any black eye pencil you have. And then to my lower waterline, I'm gonna use a dark brown. This one is from Pixie and it's in the shade Black Cocoa. So I'm gonna move on to lips before I add my false lashes. And the liquid lipstick I'm gonna use is the Huda Beauty Bikini Babe lipstick, I think. Very light. Maybe a bit of Girlfriend. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna use the shade Girlfriend instead. Okay, so change of plan. I'm actually gonna use the MAC Oak lip pencil. And then MAC lipstick in the shade Honey Love in the center of my lips. So for my lashes, I'm gonna use the Baby Doll 832 lashes, which look like this here. And I'm gonna use the Huda Beauty lash glue to apply them. So I'm gonna pop these on off camera and then come back. So these are the lashes on. I also sprayed my face with a bit of MAC Fix Plus and let all of that dry in. So this is the finished makeup look. I'm actually thrilled with how this turned out. I love this makeup. I'm so happy that I kind of like pushed myself to do something different. It's not even that major, like it's a little bit of yellow in my inner corner, like relax Chloe. But I never really introduced any color to my makeup and this is just the beginning of it. So this is something that I'd actually feel comfortable wearing. Like I said, I usually go for neutral kind of looks. So I still have that kind of wearable brown matte smoky eye and then that bit of pop color adds a little bit of something to it and it's not too intimidating to wear either. Like I'd actually wear this out and I'd feel comfortable and confident to wear it too. So yeah, I'm really happy. I hope you guys, let me zoom you out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up because it really does help me out. And feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel to keep up with all of my videos. And if you have any other video suggestions, leave them down below, or you can actually send me a picture of a makeup look you'd like me to create on Instagram. Just direct message me and I'll try to get back to everyone. But anyway, that is the end of the tutorial. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Yeah.